Hi there boys and girls, Brucey here with another lockdown pedal video. Now you may have seen my last video that I did about the HX Stomp and why I've sold my HX Stomp. That video seemed to cause a lot of controversy, a few people really getting where I was coming from with that and a few people who didn't. But anyway, this is what I've ended up with, this thing here. Now it's much bigger than the Stomp and of course when you compare it with a Stomp, totally impractical in terms of size for size comparisons. But as I mentioned in that video, this thing just makes me a lot happier. When we come back to gigging, if we come back to gigging in the future, I will probably reconsider, and at that point I will probably switch back to using the Tec-21 fly rig and maybe one or two of these pedals, again keeping it really small and really simple. But right now I'm here in the studio and I am not going anywhere, so size doesn't really matter, and what matters most is fun. It is all about the fun now, and this pedal board here gives me every single sound I wanted at the touch of a button. Yes, it could be more ergonomic. Yes, many things. I could probably tidy the cables up as well, but I am super happy here. So let me talk you through what's going on. Let's just hear it in action. Let's begin at the beginning. The first thing, of course, as always on most of my pedal boards, a tuner. Here I am using the Boss TU3, the good, faithful, what can you say about it, built like a tank, never let me down tuner. I have been using the Polytune for a while for its size, but at the end of the day, when it comes back to it, I just prefer the Boss tuner. Why do I also have a tuner on the pedal board? And this is, even if I was using the HX Stomp, I do find with modelers and multi-effects pedals, the tuners are just, they aren't great, and that's possibly me. That's really down to me, and I'm sure there'll be a million people saying how much they love the tuners, but they just seem a little bit slow to react. And the other thing about me having this here is I can just bypass my signal. We've gone from silence, there is the guitar, it's live, and then I've got a kind of mute switch, and when I am gigging and playing live, this means I can leave my guitar switch plugged in, haven't got to wear anything, everything is dead going into the rest of the board. I do like the ability to have a bypass on my pedal board. Straight from there we're going into the compressor, which is the Dynacomp. A nice compressor there, always part of my single chain anyway, and we just have that one there. I like the size of it as well, always love the Dynacomp. Next up we are going into the EP boost. Again, if you've ever seen any of my pedal boards, this is a staple. I think most of my sound comes from this pedal. I love this pedal. It gives it drives the other drive pedals, it gain stages everything really nicely. Let me just turn it off. Now obviously we're going to get an increase in level boost, which always, when you hear that, also makes you think things sound better, but it's not that. If you listen beyond the loudness boost, which isn't that much, it's a couple of dB. So it's always there, and I would not be without it. From that pedal we are going into the Jhs Angry Driver. So this is a mixture of the Angry Charlie and the Blues Driver, two pedals which, again, if you've ever watched my videos, I've had and owned and love very much. This combines it into one, but I know I've got this external switch to add to the versatility of the pedal. So I could technically have both pedals on here, but I like the way that this works. So what we have here is we have the red mode, which is the Angry Charlie. So that's my kind of thick, heavy distortion. And this is also where you can hear the importance of the EP boost. So I can turn that off, it gets a little bit. Now let's switch over to the blues driver component. You can turn the EP boost off and you get a nice kind of... Then we move on from those lovely distortion. You can see with the EP booster and that Angry Driver, I also potentially have 4 different sounds as well, 4 different flavors of overdrive. And I'm all about flavors of overdrive. And why not add in one more? Here we have the old Marshall Blues Breaker. This is just set currently for clean boost mode. It's not using the drive function. So that's to give a nice little break-up distortion to my tone. Again, we can turn it down a little bit, turn the EP boost off. Just gives me a clean boost if I need one with a little bit of hair and a little bit more hair. Actually need the volume up a little bit there. Okay, and we can see that as a boost to if I want to really go totally loud on my solo. So it's a distortion booster as well. Go back to clean, and then we have the phaser. Now, I am not a big fan of modulation by any stretch of the imagination, but I really do like phasing occasionally. Then coming up next is my old faithful, old favourite, the Boss Tr2 Tremolo. So just at a really kind of subtle setting. So perfect for my clean sound. And then the heart, the beating heart of the pedal board, which is the TC Electronic Blonde. Now, you've probably seen my videos, if you've been following my channel, on the Joyo American sound, which I think is probably the most underrated pedal of all time. This is the pedal that it was stolen from, if you want to look at it that way. This is just my clean amp, and this is another, if you haven't seen the video on the HX Stomp and why I gave it up, I just use one amp. I just like a clean Fender amp that I drive everything into. And that's it. Nice clean sound. Let me turn it off. You can see the difference, obviously. That's just my direct guitar signal. Add this in, you get a little bit of Fender goodness. I should probably do a video on this pedal just alone, but there you go. That's the heart of my rig, all based on that pedal. And then I have the American sound as a swap in should anything go wrong with this at a gig, for example, if there is ever another gig. Okay, moving on from there, we go straight into the DD200. Again, if you're a viewer of this channel, you know delay is probably my favorite effect. I have recently got rid of my Strymon. I love the timeline, but there was just something, I don't know, I just love the way the Boss sounds. I love the Terra Echo sound, and whilst this doesn't necessarily have all the versatility of the Strymon, I love the size of this pedal. I have added in a dual foot switch to give it more control, which annoyingly does take up a little bit more space on the board, but part of the reason for doing that is because I also like to use this as a looper at home where we are now. When we go out gigging, I'm probably going to change this around, but I'm going to keep this pedal on because it's fantastic. Let me just turn it on. And then I have another setting here. So this is a tape setting with a nice modulation off it. What I love about this is it's easy to switch into looper mode. So here I'm in looper mode. And the delay is still on, so let me just record something. hours and hours of fun to be had with the looper, and literally I do lose hours and hours using the looper. And then finally, last but not least, is the TC Hall of Fame 2. Not really using this to its full capacity in this situation. I'm using a couple of tone prints, but mostly my sound is a Robin Ford Air tone print. It's without the reverb. This is with the reverb. Gives a little bit of three-dimensionality to the tone. So there we go. That's my pedal board for late 2000 in lockdown. Whether this will all change when we get to go back gigging, I'm sure I will take off a couple of these pedals, keep it minimized, possibly go to my Tec-21 fly rig. We shall see. But the modelers have gone using this amazing pedal, and I am super happy. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about. But I do care about my viewers. So make sure you are all safe and well out there. If you like my channel and you have any questions, please do drop me a line in the comments below. I've been Brucey. Most importantly, my friends, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you later.